Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. If you follow basketball, you know Chilton Hoops.
So this is really good right here. Yo, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls all over the world. I know what it looks like. I know what you're thinking. Yo, where's Tony Tone at? My man Tony Tone had to sit this one out tonight. He's a little bit under the weather. That's fine. I got his back. No problem. I will cover for my man Tony Tone for the night. Let my man heal up. Let him get fresh. Let him be good. He'll be back in effect next week. But in the meantime, in between time, we got some things that we got to get figured out over here first, right? There's some things that we got to get figured out first before we move any further. So I want to start this conversation tonight with how I'm so not feeling the play-in tournament. I'm just not. I wish I could say I was digging it. I'm not feeling the play-in tournament, but it's here. So this is what it is. And Orlando is currently kicking Atlanta's ass. Anthony Black looks great, right? Anthony Black looks fantastic in this game. He's knocking down the tray ball. Not only is he knocking down the tray ball, he looks great in transition, doing a good job of taking care of the ball. Paolo looks great in one-on-ones, especially in that mid-range, and his ability to facilitate. So Atlanta's having a difficult time with Orlando right now. I don't know how long that's going to go. You know that in the NBA, it's a game of runs, and with it being a game of runs, you know that at any point, Atlanta could get this thing turned around. And Orlando is kind of blowing this thing open right now. It's early. They up 15, so we'll see how that goes moving forward, right? We'll see how that goes moving forward. They're making Trey more. They're making Trey into more of a scorer. I was in the minority. I want to get the ball out of Trey's hands. What I want to do is I want to jump Trey. And I want to make them other dudes do it. I want to make Terrence Mann shoot the basketball, right? I want to make Dyson Daniels be more of a scorer. I want to make these guys, and don't get me wrong, Trey is great at putting these guys in position to do that. Trey is fantastic in his ability to put those guys in position to do that. I don't want to get Trey going as a scorer, because if I get Trey going as a scorer, I know what's going to ultimately happen. Because now you're going to focus all your attention on him, and then now you're going to get these other guys dive into the basket, right? You're going to get these other guys at the long ball line. You're going to get these other guys. You're going to get these other guys in way different positions where they can be more effective. Once Trey gets going and then now these guys are in more position to get going, I don't want that. So, but I'm not a fan of the play-in tournament. Never been a fan of the play-in tournament. Never will be a fan of the play-in tournament. We already have a play-in tournament, but this is what we're dealing with, right? This is what we're dealing with. So this is what it is. I just gotta let it be what it is. So with that being said, there's a couple of things. There's a couple of things going on in the league right now that I'm particularly interested in. So, for example, it looks like Joe Dumars is going to get hired in New Orleans as their director of basketball operations and their general manager. And one of the things that has to happen right from the beginning, and it looks like from doing some homework that they got to go in a different direction with Zion. And that means that they're looking to move. They're looking to move off of Zion. Well, if that's true, and they're looking to move off of him, knowing Joe Dumars and knowing what kind of effect he's had, like when he was in Detroit, how he built that unit, plucking Chauncey Billups away from Minnesota, plucking Rip Hamilton away from Washington for Jerry Stackhouse, plucking Ben Wallace away from Washington, plucking Sheed away from Atlanta, the trade deadline. So I don't hate him in the way he continued to build that archetype in Detroit. Now, there's plenty of people who have an issue, right? There's plenty of people who have an issue with him passing on Carmelo Anthony and taking Darko. I'm not one of those people. I don't have an issue with that. And the reason why I don't have an issue with that is because I'm on record saying I'm in the minority when I tell you that I still to this day think that Larry Brown would have wrecked Carmelo Anthony. I don't think that he would have. I don't think that he would have hampered Carmelo Anthony. I think he would have wrecked Carmelo Anthony. This is the same Larry Brown who he had Carmelo Anthony, LeBron James, and Dwayne Wade on the Olympic team. It's the same Olympic team with Paul Pierce, Richard Jefferson. I think Sean Marion was on that team. Like these the kind of guys that he had on that crew. And of all of those guys, Carmelo Anthony was playing the least amount of minutes of all of those guys. Nobody was playing less minutes than Carmelo Anthony. Who was playing the second least amount of minutes? Dwayne Wade. Who was playing the third least amount of minutes? LeBron James. These are the three guys that are on the Olympic team in 2004 that are playing the least amount of minutes. No, that's not it at all. I got a super chat from Lee Mack. Lee Mack says, quote, with your list of reasons why 2025 is the best season out of the list, which is the number one season? Which is the number one reason 2025 is the best? Well, Lee, the number one reason why 2025 is the best, I think because of box office. And box office was going on in 2016, right? Box office was going on in 2000. Box office was going on in 1992. But this season, the storylines, I feel like, are way more enhanced this year than any other year that I've ever been around, that I've ever seen the NBA. Like we got a guy in Joker that could possibly not win league MVP after having the best offensive season in NBA history. That could happen. We got a 68-win team in the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Bulls won 69 games in 97, and Jordan didn't win the league MVP. I'm on record saying that they got that wrong. I'm on record saying that Jordan should have won it in 97. Malone should have won it in 98. I'm having a difficult time with the logic that a dude on a 69-win team is not contributing to winning more than anybody else. I'm having a real difficult time with that. But that's neither here nor there. The Cavs won 64 games this year. The Celtics won 61 games. We have a guy emerging in Dyson Daniels who wasn't really getting a lot of run last year in New Orleans. He's now in serious conversations as the defensive player of the year. So I just feel like this season has been more box office than any other season that I've seen. That includes 87 when I get the Celtics and the Lakers back in the NBA championship. That includes 1992 when I get the Bulls who can possibly repeat and Jordan repeats as NBA champion. And John Stockton is averaging 13 and a half assists a game that season. And they're in a Western Conference championship. And the Trailblazers are back in the NBA Finals for the second time in 3 years. So I think that there's way more storylines and way more box office this season than any other season that I've seen, including 96, right? And including 96, this is filled with water, by the way. This isn't, don't let this fool you, Chandler. This thing is half juice and half water. That's what I do with almost all these drinks. But as I was saying, this season has been more box office than any other season that I've seen. That includes 2016. That includes 2013. So that's why I would have to say that this season is the best season that I've ever seen. So Lakers doing, what are you talking about? Jamal Murray is hurt. What are you talking about? If he can't go, if he can't go, why don't we know about that? Why don't we know if he can't go? But I don't want to talk about that. I want to get back to nice pass. I don't want to talk about that. I want to get back to what the state of the New Orleans Pelicans are, right? The state of the New Orleans Pelicans. If that's objective number one, right? If Joe Dumars walks in there, right? If Joe Dumars walks in there, and that's the first thing that's on the docket. Yo, we got to figure out how to move off of Zion Williamson. That tells me they're starting over. That tells me right from the beginning they are starting over. And if that's true, I'm cool with that. I'm so cool with that. 100% I'm cool with that, because with Joe Dumars, one, we can get a foundation in here. We could get a franchise player. We can get it right this time. This guy might not be in the draft. This might be a guy that's been this might be a guy who's been on different benches and he hasn't found a home yet, like Chauncey Billups. Right? Maybe like Chauncey Billups. But before I go any further, I got a super chat really quickly from Now Verdier. He says, can you explain why you got the Lakers and the Timberwolves going 7 in games with Lakers winning? Sure. So I think that the matchup with the Lakers is really good for the Timberwolves. I think that Jaden McDaniels is going to deal with Luka. I think I'm going to cancel out Luka's performance with Anthony Edwards. Right? I'm going to cancel his performance out with Anthony Edwards. With me canceling out Luka's performance with Anthony Edwards, I got to deal with James now. So who handles or who cancels out James's performance? Because James is going to give me anywhere between 24 and 29 per game in this series. And I'm going to get probably 6 or 7 rebounds. So who's going to cancel that out? Well, that's going to have to be a collection of guys to cancel that out. The difference in this series is going to be slowing down Austin Reeves, which is going to be Anthony Edwards' job, which he did last year with Devin Booker, did the same thing last year with Jamal Murray. On top of that, they got to get on the glass. They got to get on the glass. They got to dominate the boards. They got to hold the Lakers to one shot and get legit stops. That includes slowing down, keeping Rui off the glass. The difference in this series is going to be Julius Randle. If Julius Randle can give me 20 to 22 and between 8 and 11 boards, and Rudy Gobert handles what he needs to handle on the backboard, and that Minnesota team, they keep Luka away from Rudy Gobert, because that's what they're going to do. They're going to consistently hunt mismatches. Right? They're going to consistently hunt mismatches. If they can keep Rudy Gobert away from Luka, I think this is a 6-7 game series. I can tell you right now, however, I'm not betting against LeBron James in game 7. I won't do that. I can't do that. I won't do that, and I can't do that. I even today, in the advanced age that he's in, right? Even with the advanced age that James is in, if this series is at 7 games, I'm not betting against LeBron James. No, I will not. I can't do it. So with that, with that, if the Minnesota Timberwolves can jump on the Lakers and slow down that other stuff, can Anthony Edwards take on the assignment? Can he take Austin Reeves out of this series? Because he's going to be the difference for the Lakers. Can he slow him down? Because if he could slow him down, and in addition to slowing him down, still get busy on the offensive end, the Lakers are in a world of trouble. And they could possibly go into Los Angeles and get one of those wins early in the series. And then now we got action. Because as anybody who knows me knows, I've always been an advocate. The series doesn't start until the home team loses. I don't care if the home team wins their first 2 games and then the home team wins the next 2 games and we got a 2-2 tie. Series still hasn't started yet. All you did was hold serve. That was it. The series has not started until the home team loses. If the home team wins all their games, you guys are out. You guys are out. So I think that with this, I feel like with this Minnesota team, if they can go into Los Angeles and steal a game early in this series, if they can go in there and steal a game early in this series by slowing down Austin Reeves, gang rebounding, and putting the Lakers on the defense consistently, not letting Luka get on the offensive glass, not letting James get on the offensive glass, completely taking them out of the game in the rebound battle, I think they got a legit shot at stealing one of these games early. But if this series goes, as long as this series goes, and Julius Randle, right, and Julius Randle is where I think he can be, where even though he's been a playoff dropper, but if he's where I think he can be, anywhere between 19 and 22 a game and 8 to 11 rebounds on good efficiency, this series is going to be a long series. Yes, it will be. 100% this series will be a long series. So the Orlando Magic are handling Atlanta right now. They up 15 in the middle of the second. Anthony Black looks great. I wanted to give him the basketball the beginning of the season. I know who Jalen Suggs is as a defender. And one, nice job, big man. Nice job. I wanted to give the ball to Anthony Black this season, and I wanted to move Jalen Suggs to the 2 and let him play off the ball. I think that would work, and apparently Coach Mosley wasn't feeling that. I think that with Suggs being healthy, giving Anthony Black the ball, giving him consistent minutes, and having him know exactly, right? Having him know exactly where he needs to be on the floor, and him being able to get downhill, him being able to navigate screen and roll, him being able to play behind screens and knock down that open shot. If he's able to do that on a consistent basis, I'm so comfortable giving him the ball. I don't think that, right? I don't think that that's where he is yet, but I would like to find out. I 100% would like to find out. So, with that being said, Leon, get your ass out of my chat. You was in here talking that bullshit yesterday about me ducking smoke. Get your ass out of my chat. Beat it. Fuck out of here. Get your ass out of here. So anyway, is there a world? And I asked this question, and I asked this question yesterday, and I asked this question earlier today on the panel. Right? I asked this question yesterday, and I asked this question earlier on the panel, which I still haven't gotten a satisfactory answer. Is there a world where the Warriors miss the playoffs? Is there a world where Memphis misses the playoffs? Is that legit? Because I can tell you right now, right? I can tell you right now, if the Warriors lose tonight, if they lose to Memphis, I think they out. I honestly believe that they're out. Because I think Dallas is going to beat Sacramento. Yep, I think Dallas is going to beat Sacramento. What up, TB? Running good, brother. I think Dallas is going to beat Sacramento. And if Dallas beats Sacramento, and now the Lakers got to see Dallas with that defense that they have, right? With that defense that they have, if the Lakers, not the Lakers, I'm sorry, if the Warriors have to see Dallas, Anthony Davis destroys Draymond Green. When he was in Los Angeles, that was the separator. That's why the Warriors couldn't beat them. because Anthony Davis was the difference. That was the difference. And I'm thinking to myself, no Jimmy Butler, which I heard this a couple of days ago. Right? I heard this. What up, E? I did not know you was in here. What's up, E? I heard this yesterday. I think it was yesterday that I heard this. That the idea, the idea that the Warriors, because they ran that play at the end of the game for Buddy Hield, they intentionally threw the game so they could get into the play-in tournament to get the 7th spot so they could see Houston in round 1. Okay, first of all, Buckets has a deep thigh bruise. He doesn't have a thigh bruise. He's got a deep thigh bruise. And I don't know if you guys know this, but those things are ridiculously painful. Ridiculously painful. And why would I not want to? Why would I not want to, as an older team, right? Why would I not want to win this game and win this game on Sunday, and I got the rest of the week off? Why would I not want to do that? There's no reason why I want to be in the play-in tournament. None. None whatsoever. I want to get this game off my books so I can get back to the facility, get back to San Francisco, get as much rest as possible, get Jimmy ready. We got the rest of the week off. He'll be ready come Sunday. Because bruises hurt. And when I say they hurt like a you-know-what. Let me tell you, man. They hurt like a son of a you-know-what. Man. And the fact that Buckets is the fact that Buckets is so important for what they're trying to do, and for him not to be available tonight, I'm not sure if he's playing or not. I have not heard anything yet, but I'm not sure if he's playing tonight. We will find out. I'm not sure if he's playing tonight. So I really wish this Atlanta team, I really wish that Jalen Johnson was healthy. I'm looking at a completely different team if Jalen Johnson is healthy. Completely different. Because now I got a 20-10 guy. In addition to having a 20-10 guy, I also got a 5-assist guy. And with Trey being off the floor, I love how Atlanta moves Dyson Daniel to the lead guard. I love that. And if you got Jalen Johnson on the floor, one of the best transition players in the game, you don't lose that much. I mean, don't get me wrong. You are losing a great passer. You are losing your best scorer. But if Jalen Johnson is on the floor, if Dyson Daniels is on the floor, you still have something to supplement that. Without that on the floor, they don't have nearly as much. And I think this is where we are with the – I think this is exactly where we are with this Atlanta Hawks team. Exactly where we are. So I got a super chat from Lee Mack. He says, I know what you mean, but do you believe too much time off can lose momentum for a team? In some situations, yes. Yes. Excuse me. In some situations, yes. But if you got an older team, the last thing that we want to do is run them into the ground, because they're going to have plenty of time throughout the playoffs to build that momentum back up. Plenty when you get into the semifinals, where you're playing every other day or every 2 days, right? We play on Thursday, and we play again on Sunday afternoon, and then we play again on Tuesday, and then we play again on Friday, and then you get to the East Finals, where the series opens up on Sunday, and then Game 2 is on Tuesday, and then Game 3 is on Thursday. So we're gonna have plenty of time to build up that momentum. I can appreciate your logically about the momentum, and that could be detrimental to us, where we could possibly lose a series. Well, if you're a vet team and it's early in the playoffs, we probably got whomever we're dealing with. We're probably familiar with them, and we can handle them, and we can get our momentum back pretty quickly, right? We can probably get our momentum back pretty quickly, as opposed to if we don't play for 10 days or something like that. If we don't play for 6-7 days, and we got a lot of banged up guys, especially an older unit like the Golden State Warriors with Draymond, with Draymond, with Steph Curry, with buckets, right? With guys like that. We need all the rest we can possibly get, especially buckets, because he's hampered right now, right? So because of that, I want these guys as fresh as possible, So I have to say that with this play-in tournament and with Golden State now having to deal with Memphis, if buckets can't go tonight, what this is going to have to be now we got to slow the game. This can't be a track meet. And the reason why this can't be a track meet, because, I don't have 17, 18 a game on the floor anymore. That's now gone. And with that being gone, now I got to slow the game down. Memphis wants to play fast. They're I think they're right outside the top 5 in pace. I want to make Ja jump shooter. That's what I want to do more than anything. I want to make Ja jump shooter. I want to make Ja get all these other guys involved, right? I need to gang rebound, because with Memphis's size, with Zach Edey, with Triple J, they can take advantage of that size. I'm doing everything that I can to get Zach Edey into action. I want to get Zach Edey into action. I want to keep him into action, or for as long as he's on the floor. Whatever we running, and what I'm gonna do, right? What I'm gonna do, I am going to go to my guys, right? I'm gonna go to my guys who are scoring. I'm gonna run stuff for Desmond Bane. 100%. I'm gonna do that, right? I'm gonna get Scottie Pippen. I'm gonna get Scottie involved in the offense. I'm gonna get GG. I'm gonna get I can't figure out how to say his last name. Salma. I'm going to get him involved in the offense. 100%. I'm going to get these guys involved I'm going to get Triple J involved in the offense. 100%. I'm going to do that. No doubt about that. But what I want to do as a defense, if I'm the Golden State Warriors, I want to consistently get Zach Edey in the offense. Zach Edey in the action. If I could get Zach Edey in the action, right? If I can get Zach Edey in the action, I'm in a good space. If I could get Jaren Jackson away from the basket, I don't think he rebounds enough anyway. For me, he doesn't rebound enough for my taste. So, nice job, big man. Jonathan Isaac gives me such productive minutes when he's on the floor. But if I can get Jaren Jackson away from the basket, and that guy, whomever he's dealing with, whether it's Jackson Davis, whether it's Draymond, right? Any of these guys, and we could get on the glass more, I'm all for that. I am all for that, right? So because I'm all for that, I'm sorry, I got distracted by Trae Young, by Dyson Daniels getting double teamed on the baseline, right? So if the Warriors can control the glass, keep Ja in front of him and make Ja jump shooter, which I'm liking. Make Ja jump shooter because Ja's shot has been up and down all year. I think over the last couple of games, he's been averaging something like 30 and 6, something like that. But if we can keep Ja in front of us, make Ja jump shooter, that's going to be Moses Moody, that's going to be Gary Payton, and that's going to be Pozinski's job. Keep Ja in front of us, make him a jump shooter, take Jaren Jackson out of the game and dominate the glass, get Zach Edey in the action and keep him in the action. Your rotation guys give me positive minutes. You got a shot at beating the Memphis Grizzlies. 100% you got a shot at beating them. I do like your chances against them. What I don't like your chances if they're flying up and down the floor and Ja's getting to the rim unmolested. That I got a problem with. I 100% got a problem with that. That's not going to work. right? That is not going to work. Mm-mm. Peace, God. Mm-hmm. That is not going to work. If you can keep keep Ja in front of you, make him a jump shooter, and you don't get killed by Desmond Bane. What I mean when I say killed by Desmond Bane, like Desmond Bane can't go off for like 29 to 35. No, that can't happen. Mm-mm. That cannot happen. He's a little bit under the weather tonight. That's why I'm riding solo tonight. I'm covering for my man Tony Tone. He's a little bit under the weather, and I got him covered. But anyway, I dig how the Golden State Warriors put teams on the defense with how they move the ball. Steph Curry is the best at moving off the ball. He's great at that. I love how the Golden State Warriors don't let the ball just stick to somebody's hands. Right? I don't think that I don't think that's the philosophy in Golden State, and I love that. Right? I 100% love that. That with him, right? With how the Warriors move the ball, with how they consistently are on offense, moving the basketball, keeping the defense on the defense, keeping them off balance. That's a good thing. But the problem is that when you lose a secondary scorer like Jimmy Butler, this is a huge problem. This is why you got him, right? This is what you got Jimmy Butler for. And you didn't get Jimmy Butler for 16, 17, 18 a game. No, that's not why you got him. No, that production's got to go up in the playoffs. It has to. And I think it will. I 100% believe that it will. And I'm not sure I'm going to get, Milwaukee Bucks, Jimmy Butler. I ain't going that far. And I'm not sure I'm going to get, Boston Celtic Jimmy Butler. No. But what I do want is I want Jimmy Butler to be more. I want him to be healthier, because then I can get I can get a better idea, and I have a better opportunity. Not a better idea. I have a better opportunity in order for us to win. If those guys are as healthy as possible. Let's be clear about one thing, guys. At this juncture of the season, don't forget, we just finished an 82-game season. Ain't nobody healthy. All these dudes are banged up. Last one of them, from Luka to James to Anthony Black to Trae Young to Steph Curry to Jimmy Butler to Jason Tatum to Jalen Green, even the teams that got weeks off, to these guys, Julius Randle, Kawhi Leonard, all these dudes are banged up. All of these dudes are banged up. The question is how much rest can we get, and who's gonna be the healthiest when we get this thing started? Because if you remember, the teams that was the healthiest in the end, it was the Celtics. I mean, he ended up getting Porzingis back. He wasn't as healthy as he could have been, but if you think about what was going on in the East last year, we had a bunch of teams that got banged up. The Heat lose Jimmy. In addition to the Heat losing Jimmy, the Cavs lose Donovan Mitchell and Jared Allen. The Indiana Pacers lose Halliburton. And when you lose your lead guard, I mean, damn, how am I supposed to, and not just a lead guard, how am I supposed to recover from that? That's going to be pretty difficult. So in the Western Conference, Oklahoma City is as healthy as they could possibly be. Because Shea is banged up, but he's as healthy as he can possibly be. Same logic with Chet. Chet's still recovering from that hip injury. And the fact that they had this whole week off, in fact, they had, today is Tuesday. I mean, when they wrapped up the number 1 seed, I mean, them guys been sitting since last week. Right? Them guys been sitting since last week. So because them guys been sitting since last week, that's straight. They straight. Right? They straight. And you love that. Houston is as healthy as they can possibly be. The Lakers I mean, when you got when you got a guy as old as James, you got to do everything that you can to keep him healthy. That's why he comes to the arena when the game's at 7:30. That's why he's at the arena at 2:30. And he's there the entire time, getting his body worked on, getting shots up, getting massages, because I'm old. And like a diesel engine, we got to get this thing running, man. But once it get running, you're in business. No doubt about that. Orlando still is handling Atlanta. They're up 16 right now with a little under 2 minutes left in the second quarter. Orlando's defense is incredible, and Orlando's defense is incredible. Their offense isn't great, right? Their offense isn't great, which can be a problem, but I'm going to take Orlando in this game. I am. I'm going to take Orlando in this game. I'm going to say that defensively, they just outclass Atlanta on the offensive end. On the defensive end, they just outclass them. And this is one of those games. I don't think you need 120 to win. I don't think you need 110 to win. 105 is enough points against Orlando. I think that's plenty. Yep. I think 105 points is plenty for them. That's a foul too, by the way. I love this kid, Dyson Daniels. I'm sorry that I wasn't. For all of you guys that are at home, I told you about that. I apologize that I wasn't paying attention to Dyson Daniels. I'm sorry. I was wrapped up in Herb Jones. I apologize. That's the guy that I was wrapped up in. And lo and behold, little do I know, you got a guy on your roster that's just as good as this dude as a defender. Maybe even better. Little did I know, man. But I'm laser focused on Herb Jones. But this kid Dyson Daniels is the real deal. He is absolutely the real deal, and I love everything about him. I do. I love everything about him. And this Orlando team, just like Atlanta, right? Just like Atlanta, I feel like with this Atlanta team, and I said this earlier, I would have loved it if Jalen Johnson would have stayed healthy. He played less than half the season. I think he only played 35 games this year, something like that, 35, 36 games this year. That's less than half the season. If he's healthy for the entire season, I think this Atlanta team, Milwaukee, Indiana, Detroit, that's where they are. One of them three teams is out. Indiana, Milwaukee, Detroit. One of those three teams are in the play-in tournament. Maybe it's Milwaukee. I don't know. I definitely think that Detroit has a legit shot at being a playoff team, which they are now. But if Atlanta's healthy the whole season with the great coaching that they have from Quinn Snyder, this team is right in that 4 to 6 area. And then when you get Atlanta in round one playing against the Knicks, I love their chances. I love their chances going into that tournament. I love them going into the playoffs. I love it. So I want to hear from you guys, though. I do. I want to hear from you guys. We got some really good playoff stuff going on right now. Play-in tournament is going on. So what up?
Who do you think is a better defender, Dyson Daniels or Herb Jones?
I think Herb Jones is a better on-ball defender. I think Dyson Daniels, his hands are busier. I think his anticipation may be a little bit better, but I think Herb Jones is better all around. I think he's better. I think he's a better on-ball defender. I think he's better in switches. I think he's a better closeout defender. I think he's better off the ball. Not much. I think that but between both him and Dyson Daniels, I think we splitting hairs with off the ball, because I feel like Herb Jones doesn't get lost off the ball. Like when you play off the ball, you have to know where the ball is, but not ball watch. And I think Herb Jones is fantastic at that. I think he's great at covering space.
And who would you say is like the smarter defender?
The smarter defender? Well, if I think Herb Jones is better, I think he's smarter too.
All right. My last question is, where do you think Zion will end up this summer?
That's a good ass question. Where do I think Zion will end up this summer? I could see him heading west. I could see him in Phoenix, them building that thing around him. But Phoenix doesn't have anything to give New Orleans. New Orleans needs draft picks. I'm not New Orleans, I'm sorry. Phoenix needs draft picks. And if they were to get Zion, what are they getting back? They're not getting any draft picks. And what are they going to have to give up? Because they're not giving up KD. KD's not going to New Orleans. No, I don't see that happening. But I can see him out west. Maybe with the Trailblazers.
Yeah.
I like him in Portland. And I don't think they'd have to give up much in Portland to get Zion up there. Even though they got a history of injury going on in Portland, I don't think they'd have to give up much to get him up there.
A lot of people are saying Miami. You think that's a good spot?
Nope, Miami. Oh, if I'm Miami, I'm already on the phone because I don't think they're that far away. I don't think they're that good right now, but I don't think they're that far away. You got your 5-man. You already got your 4-man in Bam. You got your swinging Wiggins. You got your 2-guard. You need a lead guard. Call up the Oklahoma City Thunder and ask for that kid Topich.
All right.
Ask for the kid Topich. And I
Thanks,
think you're in business. All right, brother. Good to talk to you. Ask for the kid Topich, and I think you're in business. So, like Easy Creation says, Zion to Dallas. Dallas already set, man. With this group that they got, they good. They already got that Dallas group. All we need is for Irv to get healthy. Let's find out what we got. With Clay, who can still shoot the long ball. We got our big three. We got our big front line with Anthony Davis, Gafford, and Lively. We good there. We get Irv back healthy. We got Clay shooting the long ball. We got dirty work guys like Najee Marshall. We got long ball shooters like PJ Washington. We straight. We do not need Zion Williams. We do not need Zion Williamson. We don't. And I'm glad you brought that up, Hayden, the fact that they old. Right? I'm glad you brought that up. Hayden, tell me a team that's won the NBA championship with a bunch of kids at the helm. I'm listening. Go. I'm all ears, brother. I'm all ears. What up?
Yo, what up, Chill?
What up, class?
What up, man? I just want to talk about the Celtics, man. I'm ready to see them play. I'm actually glad they're gonna get Orlando because I didn't appreciate the disrespect Ron was talking about the day talking about Paolo. But you know what's crazy though, Chill? It's a lot of people that probably feel like that too. That feel like Paolo is too much for Tatum. But now that Tatum already got the chip, man, it's like I'm not even worried no more. I want all the smoke now. And I'm ready for people. Yeah, I'm ready for all the smoke now. I don't even want it to be no easy ring. I want to go through all the tough battles so people can really see now like how good Tatum is. So I hope Orlando finishes this out. You never know though. Anybody can blow a lead. We've seen a lot of blown leads this year. So hopefully they can finish this out so we can get that Orlando Boston first round matchup.
And to your point, to go through those tough matchups like you're talking about, and for them to win, like the yapping got to stop.
It's got to stop.
It has to. Like all the nonsense about they couldn't do this, they couldn't do that. Not only did we do it once, and it was a hospital ring, so to speak. Now we did it in front of everybody. We went through the tougher road and we did it. Y'all gotta stop the yapping. You gotta stop. Kill it.
You gotta stop. And then I'll say it's not for you, Chill. Now, if Tatum does win the chip this year, are you ready to say now he's the best player in the NBA? Is that enough for you?
I can tell you this. With my criteria, with my criteria, when I talk about the best player in the NBA, because I don't think I've ever told you this, Classic. In 2002, Tim Duncan won the league MVP, right? With him winning the league MVP, they end up losing in the Western Conference Finals. I mean, in the Western Conference semis. In 2003, I mean, he won the league MVP in 2002. I'm sorry, they end up losing in the Western Conference semifinals. He won the league MVP. They lost in the semis. 2003, he wins the league MVP again. They end up in the NBA championship, win the NBA championship. He's the finals MVP, first team all defense. Now, this is what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about everything that you've done up until that point. So I won the league MVP in back-to-back seasons. We win the NBA championship, and I'm the finals MVP. At that point in 2003, I felt like Duncan was the best player in the game, with Shaq, with Bryant, with KG running around. Fast forward to James. In 2012, James wins the league MVP. In 2013, he wins the league MVP. They win the NBA championship in back-to-back seasons. He's the finals MVP. James is the best player in the world. And I don't think it's a question. Fast forward to Giannis. Giannis wins the league MVP in 19. He wins it again in 20. Then wins the NBA championship in 21. Giannis the best player on the planet. I can't argue that. Same logic I had with Bryant. Bryant wins the league MVP in 08. Wins the NBA championship in 09 and 10. Wins the finals MVP in both of those years. As much as I felt like James was better, I couldn't deny it. So if I get Jason Tatum to be a back-to-back NBA champion and win the finals MVP in this era where we don't have any back-to-back champions, from a talent standpoint, I can hear the logic about, Joker's better at this, Joker's better at that. But we got to start talking about Jason Tatum different. We have to. I have to do that. I can't just go, well, Giannis this or Joker that. I can't do that. If I'm sticking with my logic and I'm being consistent with my logic, I have to be able to say, yo, this dude is arguably the best player on the planet. He might not have a league MVP, but he's in that conversation for the best player on the planet. I have to be able to say that.
Yeah, that's not good enough for me, Chill. I think he would clearly be the best player because when we talking about him and Jokic never had a 60-win season. Jason Tatum's done that twice.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to talk about Jokic on defense. We don't have to worry about Tatum on defense.
No, we don't.
And then Kristaps Porzingis, we got to stop acting. We got to stop acting like he's always in the lineup. He barely plays. He's playing with a 40-year-old center. So I mean, I think once you actually see it, I think it'll change your mind. But like I said, I'm ready for all the smoke this year.
I am
hope he gets it done.
I am too. I'm 100% am. So good to talk to you, class.
All right, man. You have a good one.
Yup. Peace, God.
Peace, Chill. What's good, brother?
What's up, brother?
Nothing much, man. Hey, Orlando's serious, man.
Defensively, they look like they're a problem.
Yeah, man. They're good.
They look like they're trouble.
They look good, man. They're a good defensive team, man. They could give Boston some trouble. I knew they would win tonight. I don't see how Atlanta's gonna win. But yeah, man, Orlando's defense is really, really solid, man. It's really, really solid, man. Looking forward to these playoff matchups.
Yeah.
I still think, like I said, I still think Memphis. I don't know. I have a feeling Memphis is gonna win tonight, bro. To be honest with you, I just have a feeling they're gonna win. I really do.
I didn't get an answer from you because I haven't been able to ask you this, but I gotta ask you: is there a world where the Warriors miss the playoffs?
Okay, let me be correct. Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan is in Sacramento, right?
Yes, they are. Both of them are. Mm-hmm.
See, this is why I like the play-in. I know you say you don't like it. You say that the season starts in October. But you have to lose 2 games if you're the 7th or 8th seed to not make the playoffs. So instead of you losing 4 to get knocked out, you lost 2.
Yeah. So you lose. So if Atlanta loses to Orlando tonight, then
and then you lose again. Why are you complaining? You didn't make the playoffs. That's it. All you had to do is win 1 game. All you have to win is 1 extra game if you're the 7th or 8th seed. That's it. You just got to win 1 more extra game.
Them damn Heat, boy. I can see it now. If they get past Chicago and Atlanta and Miami have to play for that 8th spot, I can see this happening. I can see your boys knocking these.
All right.
They should be in the playoffs, Jay.
All right,
you know it.
Let's do so let's do this, right? Let's shuffle the dice. Let's shuffle the dice because we're gonna need a miraculous performance by 1 Heat player to win one of these 2 games. Basically, each game has to have 1 miraculous performance. Who's gonna give us that performance against Chicago? Wiggins, Bam, Hero. Well, who you got? Who you gonna roll the dice on?
Bam.
Okay, so Bam has the big game against Chicago. We get past Chicago.
Bam goes 25-15, 2 blocks, and Bam goes 25-15, 5 assists, 2 blocks. I think that's good enough to win.
He might have to do better than 25. Sure, he might have to, unless he's hitting threes. He might have to do better than that. Sure.
Okay, how about 28? How about 28, 16, and 3 blocks?
Now you talking. See, now that's a performance that can get us past Chicago, right? So we get past Chicago. Who's going to get us the performance versus Atlanta? Because we can't expect back-to-back from Bam now. Bam's not going to give us back-to-back performances, is he?
Why not? I can get another 20 and 10 game from Bam now. I don't know if I can get a 28 and 15
Why not?
from Bam.
Because like you said, since October, we've been watching the game since October. That's why we've been watching.
I've already seen this. This is wishful thinking, Jay. This is 100% wishful thinking at this point when it comes to him. So with that being said, if I get this big time, right? If I get this big time game from Bam, that's the team now galvanizing.
Yes,
I'm Bam going. Okay, Bam got us one. Let's get him one now.
Then we need a 35-pointer from the hero. Then that's what I'm saying. We're gonna need one of those.
Let's see if I can get 20 to 25 out of Wiggins. Let's see if I can get 20 to 20. Let's see if I can get 20 to. Let's see if I can get 25 to 30 out of Tyler Hero. Let's see if I can. Let's see if I could get. Let's see if I can get. Let's see if I could get. What's the kid's name that with the Baylor? Not Hawkins, your point guard. I don't know why I'm.
Mitchell.
Davion Mitchell. That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can get Davion Mitchell to slow down Trae Young. If I can do that, I think we got a chance. And I don't think it's ridiculous to think that he can slow him down. I don't think that's ridiculous to think that.
I always told you, thank you for letting us be fans. I appreciate it. Let me being a fan here right now. But the only team that has a chance in the play, and I think is Sacramento. Other than that, I don't see none of the playing teams are gonna make the playoffs. None of those knife attempt seeds. I think Sacramento has a chance because it's a puncher's chance. It's a haymaker's chance. You get the game down to the wire, and you have to go to DeMar DeRozan or Zach LaVine shot to win the game. You could lose that.
But I'm thinking about Dallas, and to your point, how much better they are. I'm thinking about how much better they are as a defense with that 3 big lineup.
Yeah.
With PJ, not just with PJ knocking down open shots, with Najee Marshall being the dirty work guy he is, and I still got Clay on that right wing, asking for the ball wide open. And I think that we can win it. Same thing like what's going on right now with Orlando. We don't need 120 tonight, Jay. I think 105, between 105 and 110. I think that's enough to win this game. I think that's more than enough.
Should be enough.
Yeah, I think that's enough. So I feel like with Dallas, Anthony Davis has been fighting with Sabonis all season, and now that he's in Dallas, because for some reason when he was with the Lakers, like last year, they owned him. This year he had gotten much better, and they ended up beating Sacramento because that was the first time they had beaten him since in like 5 years. With that being said, Jay, I just like Dallas's defense more than I like Sacramento's offense. Yep.
It's gonna be. I like I said, man. You just get a puncher's chance with that Sacramento team, man. They still got Sabonis. Like you say, don't sleep on either team. But again, I see Memphis winning tonight for some odd reason, but the Warriors still making the playoffs. So it'll be the Warriors and OKC in the first round.
The Warriors and OKC. Does OKC mop these dudes, or do we have a series?
That's a series.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think OKC still wins, but it's a series for sure.
Yeah.
You got to give the Warriors a chance. How bad is this contusion? Because we know with Jimmy,
I think he's out. I don't know if he's going tonight. Yeah.
If he's not playing tonight, they're definitely not winning. That means you have to expect Stephen Curry to step up real big tonight.
Yeah, he might be out tonight.
Yeah, I don't like the Warriors' chance, man. You know what? All the crazy stuff.
If he's not playing,
they don't have a chance. They don't have a chance. All the crazy stuff that your boy Jordan says on PC, but one of the things that he said was kind of truthful. I think he said it today was, the Warriors needed Jimmy just to make the play-in.
They did.
So how dangerous really can they be if you had, it is what it is. But I don't want to hog up too much of your time. I see you got some folks here in the comments, man. Shout out to Sports Fluent, man. Shout out to Tone, man. Hopefully he's feeling better.
He'll be better. Yeah, he'll be better. So
he'll be fine. Parade on Crenshaw. Don't worry, he'll be fine. So when we celebrate the
sir.
Lakers championship this year, you'll be completely fine.
I'm holding it down for my man in the meantime. I got him covered. Yep,
All
I
right,
got him
brother.
covered. So you know where to find me at, Jay.
I'm watching you guys, man. Appreciate
Yes,
it, man.
sir. Out. What up?
What up, Chill? How you doing?
What up? Good, brother. How you doing?
Good, good. Hey, I got some quick things I wanted to run by you. Man, I remember I had jumped on your chat and talked to you when Phoenix had made the trade of Bradley Beal. Everybody was kind of like, "Oh, Phoenix finna do something serious," and now they're in turmoil. So I got a question for you. Firing 3 coaches in the last 18 months, probably gonna have to trade away KD. I hear they're asking for everything back that they traded to get him. Does this recent acquisition make Matt Ishbia the worst owner in NBA history?
I don't know if he's the worst owner in NBA history. The owner of the Cavs,
Dan Gilbert?
no, not Dan Gilbert. This was this is the way that we have the reason why we have restrictions on draft picks is because the owner of the Cavs in the 70s and in the early 80s, he was just giving draft picks away.
Okay.
That's how the Lakers ended up getting James Worthy. He was just giving draft picks away. And he ended up trading 3 first rounders to the Lakers, and I keep forgetting this guy's last name. It's Don something, for 3 first-round picks and thinking that the Cavs are going to be good. Well, the Cavs end up being bad, and in 1982, that first-round pick turned into James Worthy. So the NBA started to put restrictions on them that no, you can't just hand over draft picks. No, so they had to put together a separate draft, not draft. They had to put rules in where we got to get him his draft picks back because he ain't had no draft picks for 5 years, and that's where Phoenix is right now. They got to get the draft picks back.
Exactly. Now went to the championship, made some trades. I mean, they're down bad right now.
But to answer your question, Donald Sterling is the worst owner in NBA history. I don't think it's a question.
Oh yeah, Clippers. I forgot about that.
Yes, Donald Sterling he's the worst owner in NBA history, no doubt about it.
Facts. All right, second question I got for you is a scenario I had thought about earlier today. Minnesota, they got Anthony Edwards. I think they're trying to make the most out of it right now in Minnesota. I'm just looking at the climate of coaching right now. I guess it's a 2-parter question, but if Minnesota were to go out in the first round and New York were to go out of the first round, out of Chris Finch and Tom Thibodeau, who do you think is more on the hot seat to get fired? And is there any playoff team that if they go down, you could see them firing their coach?
Is there a playoff team that I'm thinking about?
Like if the Knicks lost in the first round,
if the Knicks lost in the first round, I could see the temperature for Tibbs getting hotter, considering how he uses his rotations. I think that Finch would get some grace because they ended up losing. They ended up losing Cat and Julius Randle. He came on late. With him coming on late, Julius Randle was out of the lineup for a while. He had a groin injury, but they had some issues. I definitely think that the seat would be a lot hotter for Coach Tibbs. But in terms of playoff teams that I'm looking at throughout the course of this season, is there a team that I'm thinking about that could be on a hot seat? Let the Clippers get bounced in first round. Ty Lue might be looking at the door. It could happen with him. Yes. It could definitely happen with him. Let Indiana get bounced in the first round. Rick Carlisle might have an issue. They was in the East Finals last year. That could be an issue.
Hey, Chill, one more quick thing. Does Daryl Morey not getting fired and still having a position, does that catch you by surprise, or is you think that he deserves another year?
I don't know if Daryl Morey was the issue. Daryl Morey did what was necessary. I mean, he told James Harden, I mean, the issue between him and James Harden, he told James Harden, I got you paid in Houston. I'm going to get you paid here. But the Philly brass, they weren't trying to hear that. They were not trying to hear that. So they had to move off of him. I do think he made a mistake with Paul George.
Yeah.
100. I 100% think he made a mistake with Paul George. This might be
even the Embiid extension.
This might get him. Yeah, this might get him fired. Yes.
We gonna see. I know
Yes.
where to find you. Appreciate it.
You know where I'm at, brother. What up?
What's good, Chill?
What's up, brother?
Yeah. Hey man, please don't fall for the art of the loser's limp. When
Losers
it
limp.
comes, yeah, it's called the loser's limp. And yeah, you played sports at a high level before. Right before when you think you about to lose or it's a chance you about to lose, what they do, I don't care if it's track, basket.
My
Yeah,
hamstring, my back went out, or my hand
yeah,
is broken, stuff like. Here we go with the bullshit. I can. Oh, okay. All
you
right.
kind of feel me because see, you got to
Yeah.
remember I'm particularly going at Jimmy Butler on this one
Yeah.
because you got to understand Jimmy Butler. I call him he's a possum. At the end of the day, he ain't really doing nothing spectacular. He's just doing something here and there, filling in, doing some regular stuff, and making it look electrified. And then he get to the playoff. What he was gonna do, he was gonna go all out. Now, if they lose, Jimmy Butler, he's not full strength. And if he was, people want to argue hypotheticals all day long. And on the platform on the other show that you be on, that's all they want to do is argue a hypothetical. Man, I'm not about to argue with you about Superman faster than
Batman or some
Spider-Man.
nonsense like that. No, what's going
Yeah,
on right now? What's going on in
yeah.
reality?
In reality, that's what I'm saying. And I could see the loser limp coming up real fast because they was all on the Warriors. Oh, Jimmy Butler this and this, that, and other. No, I get what you're saying, but when the playoffs come, I keep telling casuals get hooked on the regular stats and stuff like that. They're not gonna tell you like that last Lakers game that the Houston Rockets got blown out by. That gets thrown into the numbers, and when the playoff starts, it's gonna be like, hey, the Lakers beat them, and this is what the margin of victory was.
Even though they had almost their whole starting five out, like they starting
Exactly.
wasn't playing. So yeah, I can get
Yeah,
with that.
yeah.
Now
It
Jimmy
can be
Butler's
confusing.
now Jimmy Butler's injury. This is significant because I did see him. I did see Kawhi Leonard knee him in the thigh, and thigh bruises hurt like a bitch. They
Yeah.
do. They 100% hurt like a bitch. So this is I feel like this is a real injury. But to your point, that has happened. You know, my hand was broken when we lost, or I had a bad back or some bullshit like that. Yes, that has happened.
Yeah, it does. But if he want to keep that up and make that a part of his legacy, he can get on the all glass team with Kawhi Leonard, Chris Paul. It's a lot of guys that's on that all glass team, and when you need them to play, they always injured, they always hurt, or something like that. It's unfortunate, but they never there when you need them. What's your boy? Ben. I would put Ben Simmons on the all glass team because these people are highly talented, definitely, but they're never there when you actually need them. So that's a problem for me. Oh, Joel Embiid, all glass team. These guys are super talented. So you can never doubt their talent.
Kawhi Leonard, sure.
Yeah, he went out with a thigh injury. Yeah, but that's what's up. That's all I wanted to say, Chill.
Absolutely, brother. You know where to find me at, my man. Absolutely. Good to talk to you. No doubt. All right, guys. Y'all know what time it is when y'all see me. It's about that time for me. I got to bounce. My man, Tony Tone, was not here tonight. He will be back next week. I was holding it down for him. I got him covered. He was a little bit under the weather. He will be better. We will be back in effect next week. We will see you guys then. Until then, put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother. When's the last time you talked to your mother? Call your mother. I will talk to you guys soon, but until then, take it light. Take it. Absolutely, man. It was good to see you guys tonight. This was dope. No doubt.